other than procrastination, there is a really good reason why you're getting this video so late. And no, I'm not wearing this shirt for irony, because I'm a whole lot more interested in watching Turning Point that just aired on last Thursday than I am in talking about this monstrosity that was on pay-per-view last night. There were a few, and I do mean a very few, bright spots, but I'll talk about that as we get there. So, this used to be a big deal. There once upon a time was a big four. There was the Royal Rumble, it was WrestleMania, it was SummerSlam, and it was the Survivor Series. The big four pay-per-views of the WWF. These were pay-per-views you looked forward to. These are pay-per-views where storylines were blown off. These are big attraction events that were broadcast on pay-per-view for the world to see. These were a lot more important than a Superstars or a Primetime Wrestling, Tuesday Night Titans, or even a Monday Night Raw. These were important pay-per-views. Survivor Series used to mean something. It used to be where teams would battle it out to determine who would be the one and true sole survivor, whether it was 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. We fast forward here to 2013, and we've got a 7-on-7 match with the Divas division. And the match lasts less than 7 minutes. I'm probably being generous on that. I didn't have a stopwatch handy. There were a few bright spots, but they're very few and far between. But I'll talk about them when we get there. And I did laundry today, I'll give you that, but it took until 4:30 for me to start this video. This video will barely be up before Raw starts, which I'm really not looking forward to. I'll tell you that right now. This is not a day I enjoy being someone who analyzes WWE events. I was really disappointed with the pay-per-view, and I didn't think that I was going to be very excited about it, given the fact that the build-up was so terrible. I mean, before the pay-per-view, just in the last couple of weeks, we actually got our pay-per-view announced. The fans don't care about the Big Show and Randy Orton, and they voiced their displeasure. And the traditional Survivor Series match, the 5-on-5, it was great. It was an excellent contest. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk against the Wyatt family, phenomenal match. And John Cena and Alberto Del Rio actually put together a really good match. But you got the elongated squash with Big E Langston putting him over on Curtis Axel. You've got Ryback making a challenge and getting squashed like a grapefruit by Mark Henry. You've got the weirdest yet most entertaining segment I've seen in a while, at least partially, where it starts off with R-Truth and Santino, and they're playing with the new Power Slammers figures, and Truth says that's no bull. That brings out Los Matadores with El Torito. And then Truth basically says, or I think Santino says, let's dance. This brings out Fandango to a huge pop from the crowd, who should have been on the card, mind you. And basically he brings up Power, which brings back, oh my god, John Laurinaitis on our screen again. And that made Owen a happy guy, because Sir Owen Disney is a big fan of Super Dave Osborne. Big Johnny, come back to show as soon as possible. My god, I miss you so much on television. I never has I missed a character on television right now more than I miss John Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon on my television. I hate this What's Best for Business storyline. I hate it immensely. I know you're supposed to hate it as a fan. As an analyst, I despise this feud. I don't want this to go past 2013. I think it should die before the Royal Rumble. But that aside, let's talk about the pay-per-view. We'll talk with the pay-per-view kickoff match. And the kickoff match was the newly turned heel Miz taking on Kofi Kingston. These two have battled each other so many times. And they turned on each other leading to this match. So the Miz turned on Kofi, left him laying, and now we've got this. So let's go midway through the match, shall we? So he comes off the ropes, and Kofi nails a rebound crossbody block, 1-2, and Miz kicks out. So leaps on the middle rope, goes for the 10 punch. He gets dropped on the turnbuckle, leg first, obviously setting up for the figure 4. He should not be using as a heel. And that knocks him to the ring apron, and he ends up getting kicked in the face, straight boot by The Miz, knocks him off the ring apron. And 1-2, and Kofi kicks out. So The running boot to the head, while from the seated position, 1-2. Again, Kofi kicks out. Chinlock. Kofi punches his way out. Knee in by The Miz, and he whips him in. Miz puts on the brakes, and Miz gets tossed over the top rope, lands on the ring apron, slides through for the sunset flip, and he gets countered into a leaping double stomp by Kofi. Then there's the 2 double chops, and then there's the drop kick. Then there's the leaping clothesline, and he sets up for the boom drop, and he's going for Trouble in Paradise. Everyone talks about Cena's 5 moves of doom, or Bret Hart's 5 moves of doom, but think about it this way. Almost everyone on the roster has a sequential way to finish off their opponent. Proof positive. But Daniel Bryan, I'll talk about that in a minute. A little bit longer in a minute. Sets up Trouble in Paradise. Miz ducks out of the way, and clothesline ducked, roll up 1-2, and Miz kicks out. Goes for the SOS, gets countered into the reverse DDT position, drop down over the knee, going for the old school expulsion, and that gets countered, shove off into the SOS, 1-2, and Miz kicks out once more. So he charges in, and he gets dropped leg first across the top rope. Goes for the figure 4. Again, should not be using it as a heel, even though Flair's a heel. Miz, when he became a babyface, started using the figure 4. So you would think he would use the skull-crushing finale to finish people off. That is not the case. Inside cradle by Kofi, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes up top, flying body press, 1-2, Miz kicks out. So he goes for the running kick to the face on 2 separate occasions, nails it. The third time, it's ducked, and skull-crushing finale set up into a forward roll, 1-2, and a kick out, roll back by The Miz, pins his shoulders to the canvas, 1-2-3. Okay opening match for what it was. Miz needed to establish dominance in his first match back as a heel. Miz is a lot better as a heel than a babyface, and even though Miz as a character has this natural hateability about him, and he never really works well as a babyface. He comes up, Mike Mizanin is a babyface all day long. The Miz, on the other hand, is a heel all day long. Even when he was a babyface, he still cut heel promos, and still worked like a heel, so there's how it works. So, okay match for what it was. Once again, if I had to do anything, give him back the skull-crushing finale as his permanent finisher. The figure 4 pops the crowd, and if you want to be a true heel, an old-school heel, which it seems like The Miz is wanting to be, or needs to be, and this is coming from a Miz fan, I would say take the figure 4 out of your repertoire completely and just use the skull-crushing finale. Need you not forget, the skull-crushing finale is the reason you stole the WWE Championship in the first place when you cashed in Money in the Bank. The figure 4 is a move that immediately pops the crowd, and then when he goes for it, the fans are going to pop for it because it's the figure 4 leg lock. Even though, once again, I shall challenge you Boston fans, and fans all around the country, I understand why the knife edge chop gets you to woo. Why does the overhand chop get you to woo? That makes no sense whatsoever. So, pay-per-view time. Kick off with our traditional Survivor Series match, 5-on-5 elimination. We have the newly formed team of the Rhodes Warriors, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, your WWE Tag Team Champions, along with Jimmy and Jey Uso and the returning Rey Mysterio Jr. And I'm one of the only recappers that still calls him Rey Mysterio Jr. Deal with it. They're facing off against Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and the United States Champion Dean Ambrose, The Shield, as well as Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger of the Real Americans. This should have been another match. This should have been involving Punk and Bryan, like the match they did on free television on Raw a couple weeks ago. But no, it's this 5-on-5 match. So Zeb Coulter does something that I'm sure has caused the selling, wow, long day, the sale of bleach all around the world to cause people to just permanently blind themselves when he tries to twerk. Oh, by the way, I hate twerking. So there. So Cody stops Zeb in his tracks and says, "Nobody wants to see you twerk." Bill and Ted reference right there. Anyway, Cody twerks himself and whatevs. So Cody starts off with Dean Ambrose, and with the Survivor Series matchup, this I'll shoot up to you guys. This is a page and a half of notes, so stick with me here. Should have got something to drink before I started this. So Ambrose with the repeated stomps in the corner. Cody rolls him up from behind 1, 2, 3 out of nowhere. Because basically what happened, he's repeated stomps in the corner and the referee pulls him aside. And he goes back to the stomps and the referee pulls him aside. He goes back to the third time and the referee pulls him aside. This distraction allows Ambrose to get rolled up from behind 1, 2, 3. There, a little bit more of a way to put it than I wrote it here. Ambrose is the first man eliminated. Interesting. So later on in the match, we have Goldust against Antonio Cesaro. And Goldust with a backslide 1, 2 and a kick out. And then stop, boot down, DDT, 1, 2, and Cesaro again kicks out. So he locks on the deadlift into the side salto, and he charges in when he gets back to his feet. Goldust puts up the back elbow, and nails a Code Gold on Cesaro. Yes, he hit the leapfrog, land on the lower back, into the flipping sunset flip, the Code Red that Amazing Red would use. So I'm going to call it Code Gold. Looked awesome, by the way, on Cesaro. Cesaro tags in a Swagger. So Swagger comes in, goes for the Swagger bomb, and Cody gets the boots up. So hot tag into Mysterio. He comes in, nails the springboard seated senton and wheelbarrow into the Bulldog, and he gets stopped very awkwardly by Swagger, finally trying to turn it into a gut wrench powerbomb. This gets countered into a Rana, into the 619. Tag in, super kick by Jey Uso, and the big time Samoan splash off the top rope, 1, 2, 3, and the Real American Jack Swagger, your second man eliminated. Second man eliminated. Ah, I was correct. Sweet. So, anyway, Cesaro's now in, and they duck the clothesline. Cesaro tosses him up in the air. Bam, Swiss Death. 1, 2, and a kick out. So he goes for the giant swing on Jey Uso, gets 15 rotations, and he catches Jimmy getting in, double legs him, and goes for the giant swing on him. 20 rotations on this one, tagging to Cody, unbeknownst, and the toss-up, going for the Swiss Death, into the sunset flip, 1, 2, 3, Antonio Cesaro, the next man eliminated. So, Seth Rollins comes in, nails a backdrop suplex on Jey Uso, 1, 2, and a kick out. So, the chin lock, Jey elbows his way out, tagging to Roman Reigns. So, they go for a double backdrop suplex. Jey floats over, lands on his feet, and Seth gets backdropped over the top to the floor. He kicks him off, and tagging to Jimmy, clothesline, side kick to the ribs, and he comes off the ropes, gets caught with a Samoan drop, and the running butt bump by the Uso, 1, 2, and Roman Reigns kicks out. So he goes up top, gets caught, climbs up, and he gets punched off. Well, like he's kind of wobbling, and he headbutts him twice. Big time Samoan splash. Roman gets the knees up, and when Jimmy gets up to his feet, he gets broken in half by a humongous spear. 1, 2, 3. Jimmy Uso is gone. Cody comes in with a big clothesline. Whip in, reverse, tip up, sunset flip, 1, 2, and Rollins kicks out. So he hits the drop down uppercut and the standing moonsault off the top rope, 1, 2, and a kick out. Goes for a beautiful disaster, gets caught, going for the turnbuckle powerbomb, gets thrown off, and this is a nice situation right here. I like this finishing sequence. So he goes for the crossroads. It gets countered. Rollins goes for a reverse suplex. Gets countered into the crossroads. Before the crossroads is administered, there's a blind tag to Roman Reigns. And the second it is landed, Roman's off the ropes. And bam! Spear out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes is eliminated. So Jey with a leaping clothesline on the floor. A nice reminiscent of Roman Reigns' very own Superman clothesline. And he throws him upside down into the barricade. Basically just trying to take full advantage of the fact that he's definitely not the freshest of men in the ring. So, he goes up top, and it gets ducked, tagging to Seth Rollins. Rollins comes off the ropes, nails the blackout, 1, 2, 3, and Jey Uso is now eliminated. So, Rey Mysterio goes up top, and he gets crotched on the top rope, tied to the Tree of Woe, and a leaping drop kick by Seth Rollins in the corner. Tagging to Roman Reigns, he just launched him like a lawn dart underneath the bottom rope to the floor. Rey gets back in at 9 right before the 10 count. Charge in, miss. He goes shoulder first in the ring post on the spear attempt. Tagging to Seth Rollins. He smartly knocks Goldust off the ring apron, so he can't get in and make the tag, obviously. Goes for an electric chair. And the spot is supposed to be an electric chair spun around into a sunset flip. He stacks him up, 1, 2, 3. That's the finish you're supposed to see. Well, what ended up happening was he picks him up the electric chair and he was fighting with it and it just looked kind of awkward. He ended up stacking him up, 1, 2, 3, and Seth Rollins is now eliminated. So, an enziguri kick on Roman Reigns, because obviously Mysterio's at a severe disadvantage at this point. And drop toe hold to the buckle when he charges. And tagging to Goldust. Goldust hits the drop down uppercut and a big spine buster, 1-2, and a kick out. 10 punch, and catches him off the ropes eventually with the Samoa Joe style power slam, 1-2, and a kick out. Setting up for the final cut, and he gets shoved into the turnbuckle, and he ends up getting the upper hand, going for the 180 flying body press, 1 count only. So he goes for the bulldog, he gets tossed off, ducks the clothesline, and Roman Reigns spears him for the 3. Goldust is eliminated. So Rey tries to get the upper hand. Springboard into the seated senton, gets caught, and he's fighting his way out, punching his top of his head, and he Ranas him, and he sets up for the 619. Of course, this allows him to regain his composure, and when Rey comes off the ropes, Roman Reigns just like bloop, just breaks him right in half. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns, the sole survivor of the traditional Survivor Series match. I don't have a problem with Roman Reigns being elevated in this match. I don't have a problem with Roman Reigns looking like a beast in this match. It was okay for what it was. It was a great opening contest for the pay-per-view, and one of the only good matches on the show. And that's no offense to anybody in the ring. It's just some of the matches just didn't work. Most of them didn't work, honestly. So yeah, what happens from here? Does Roman Reigns now get to gloat a little bit, even though it's not really in his character to do so, and be the man who was the only survivor of the match? Or do we have him go back into the Shield milieu and would do it from that position? It could go either way, honestly. Mysterio needed to lose in this match, and Roman Reigns needed to beat him, and that's exactly what happened, and that's actually what I called. So there you go. I called on this very channel. So, we get our next match. It is the rematch for the Intercontinental Championship, Curtis Axel against the new Intercontinental Champion, Big E Langston. Then we go midway through the match. Whip in and elevator down by Big E Langston. He tosses Axel up in the air, lands on the canvas. He clothesline off the ropes, 1-2, and Axel kicks out. So Axel smartly powders to stop any momentum that Big E has. Gut shot on the floor, toss him back in. Big E gets stunned with a forearm while he's on the ring apron. Charging shoulder block knocks Big E off the apron to the floor. So a forearm off the apron, like a running forearm off the apron, toss him back in, 1 count only. Big E presses him off like a sack of potatoes. So, I like this right here coming up. He goes for the cravat, does Axel, and the knee strikes from the cravat. Perfect somersault neck snap, 1-2, and a kick out goes to the chin lock, and it gets countered into a front face lock. Countered by himself, actually. He turns his chin lock into a front face lock, and he gets tossed off, lands on his feet, goes for the axe to grind, ducked by Big E, clothesline, ducks the clothesline, belly-to-belly suplex, comes off the ropes with a huge Ultimate Warrior-style big splash. Warrior wishes he got that high. And he drops the straps, and of course, a kick to the knee by Axel, breaks it up momentarily, but you know it's pretty much academic after that. Axel pulls out the perfect plex out of nowhere, and 1-2, of course, Big E kicks out. So he charges with a splash in the corner. He misses, finds nothing but turnbuckle, and charges him one more time. Gets the elbow up, and he goes to the second rope. Big E looks like he's going to try to finish him off. He dives off the second rope, gets caught, and he elbows out of the hatchet, does Big E Langston, shoves off, and the big ending, 1, 2, 3. Basically a match to show Big E's dominance, and no idea who his next challenger for the Intercontinental Championship is going to be as of this moment. I guess we'll find out more on Raw in a couple hours. Axel, wow, just repackage, do something with him, because Axel as a gimmick right now is done. You need to, if you're not going to redeem him, repackage him at this point, because Curtis Axel is done. I don't see money in another rematch with Big E Langston. Langston has won the championship and won this rematch convincingly. There is no reason for this to be continuing past last night's pay-per-view. So, that was not really cringeworthy. This next match is. It's the 7-on-7, okay, Divas Survivor Series matchup. The Total Divas against the True Divas. So, basically, AJ pretty much puts her foot in her mouth before the match even starts, and pretty much just, like, criticizes everyone for not being as good as her, but still saying we need to rally together and beat these Total Divas. And basically AJ was like, well, you guys are, maybe they don't think you're pretty enough to be on the show. That's why you're not on the show. And well, the response I give. Not my personal response, because I love AJ Lee, and I think she's gorgeous. But when it comes down to it, and I love Summer Rae, as everyone knows, but when it comes down to it, AJ, you're not on the show either. So, yeah, your point has no water whatsoever. This match only has so much writing to it because, my God, it was way too long. And it was 7 eliminations, so obviously it took a while. So Alicia Fox, who I really dislike in the ring, starts off with Naomi. Of course, this match, if you are not paying attention, the traditional Survivor Series match would be as followed. The Total Divas, which would be Natalya, Eva Marie, JoJo, the Bella Twins. I think that's right. Natalya, Eva Marie, JoJo, the Bella Twins. And the Funkadactyls, Cameron and Naomi. Against the True Divas, which of course is the Divas Champion AJ Lee, Tamina Snuka, the gorgeous Summer Rae, Oksana, Alicia Fox, Rosa Mendez, and Kaitlyn, which is interesting because Kaitlyn's in this match. I hope I didn't forget anybody. I don't think I did. We'll figure it out. So Alicia Fox starts off with Naomi, whip in, and Tilt-A-Whirl backbreaker, 1-2. Alicia Fox actually showing a wrestling move, and Naomi kicks out. Charges in, and basically she hits the Olay kick, puts her on the turnbuckle, climbs up, and she gets elbowed off. Split-legged moonsault, first elimination. Alicia Fox is gone. Goes for the rear view on Rosa, who comes in. Of course, that gets stopped. Tag into Cameron. Cameron comes in with a double suplex. Cameron just can't work, I'm sorry. Double split, 1-2, and a kick out. And whip in, charges in, sent face first into the buckle, 1-2-3. Cameron's gone. Well, that was short and sweet. So Nikki comes in, nails the Bella Factor on Rosa. I believe it's called Adios now, something like that. Summer Rae comes in, there's a dance contest. Summer gets a nice little spot. Nice pop, split, and she gets drop kick on the side of the head, 1-2-3. Summer Rae's eliminated. Kaitlyn comes in, big time gutbuster, 1-2-3, Eva Marie is gone. So a high kick is caught, tossed up gutbuster Naomi is gone. Kaitlyn eliminates her. So Brie goes up top, missile drop kick on Kaitlyn, 1-2-3, Kaitlyn is gone. So Oksana ends up eliminating Brie Bella with a spine buster, which is really shocking, even though everyone's saying WWE is so high on Oksana. I don't know why. Maybe see something I don't see. So Nikki picks her up in a torture rack and just drops down with it. And that's all she wrote for her, so Oksana's gone. So Tamina comes in and 3 leaping headbutts, knocks Natty off the apron, foot choke in the corner, suplex, whip in, and insecurity to the arm. Tagging to JoJo, of course, is completely outclassed in every single way in this match. This is the first time we've seen her in any in-ring competition. Whip in, charges up, JoJo gets the boots up, dives off the middle rope, gets caught for a Samoan drop, gets countered into a crucifix roll-up, 1-2, and a kick out. Tamina's like, we ain't playing anymore. Big clothesline on JoJo, picks her up, Samoan drop, tags into AJ, who seems to be really giddy about getting into the ring. She skips around, happily makes the cover, 1-2-3, JoJo's gone. Tagging to Tamina. So the charging butt bump on Natty, and a big scoop slam goes up top for the Samoan wrong booking. The Superfly splash in this case. It misses. Sharpshooter's applied. AJ breaks it up right as the tap out is administered. If you don't watch it, you're not going to catch it. And the referee calls for the submission, so Tamina's gone. Goes for the Black Widow, gets countered. Nikki drop kicks Tamina off the apron because everyone, including the announcers, forgets that Nikki has not been eliminated yet. And they roll AJ up into the sharpshooter. AJ taps, and Nikki and Natty win this match. My God, what a cluster. Less said about this, the better. Ryback issues an open challenge, and it's accepted by Mark Henry. So Rick Ross comes to the ring and answers the open challenge. Of course, it's the rematch from April at WrestleMania. So midway through the match, because I don't have enough time on my hands to talk about as many rest holds there were in this match. Oh, I'm talking about the main event. Sorry. So Ryback clips him in the knee. Big splash. Not really Warrior style, but not really that high either. 1-2 and a kick out. Suplex on Mark Henry. Charges in, misses, goes shoulder first in the ring post. Ryback's momentum carries him to the floor. So 2 big headbutts. And he gets on all fours. He does a Junkyard Dog style homage with a headbutt to Ryback and makes a cover 1-2. Ryback grabs the bottom rope. So back elbow, again he clips the knee, and he goes for a chin lock. Mark Henry punches his way out, whip in, and the shoulder block on Ryback. Clothesline, goes for the over-the-shoulder power slam, connects 1-2, and Ryback kicks out. So he goes for the world's strongest slam, gets countered, spine buster, and he drops the straps. I don't know why everyone's doing that now. Goes for the meat hook, it gets stopped with a, well, I'm going to call it what I saw. He leaps up in the air, and he cross-bodies him from the corner. This was all it took. World's strongest slam, 1, 2, 3. Mark Henry wins this, and if rumors are to be believed, Mark Henry will be the next challenger for the WWE Championship, and hopefully they'll give Mark Henry the championship finally before he retires. Yay, we're down to the final page. Thank God. The rest of the... Okay. We talked about the 5-on-5, which was awesome. Excellent match. We talked about Axel and Big E, which could have been a lot worse, but it was okay. It was a Raw match or a SmackDown match. The 7-on-7 Divas match, less said about it, the better, and I'm a fan of some of the Divas workers. Mark Henry squashing Ryback like a grape, that's fine. I have no problems with that. It's going to build him up in the long run, so that's fine. So now we get to a match that the finish was never in question, but we were wondering how the match was going to go. And this match was actually really good. John Cena defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Alberto Del Rio. And I'm not a Cena hater, but I don't think really... I think there needs to be time where he's away from the world title picture for a while. Kind of like how Triple H was back in the day. When Triple H needed to be away from the title picture for a bit. I don't hate John Cena. I actually like John Cena, surprisingly enough. So there's always that. So we got midway through the match, and ducks Del Rio's clothesline, 2 shoulder blocks, goes for the protobomb, gets countered into the backstabber, 1-2, and Cena kicks out. He goes up top, leaps off, and the Brian Pillman counter, which of course he leaps off the top, he gets countered with a dropkick by Cena. Goes for the protobomb, and Del Rio counters, DDT, 1-2, and a kick out. So he comes off the ropes, and he goes for the Del Rio slide because he's slumped against the middle rope, And, of course, Cena gets out of the way because the Del Rio slide never hits. And, of course, this allows for him to set up for a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a rest. John Cena doesn't need rest, though, because he's Superman, so there you go. At least that's what the internet has you to believe. So he goes back in at 9, and protobomb, 5-knuckle shuffle, goes for the AA, gets countered this time into a German suplex, 1-2, and Cena again kicks out. Goes for the step-up enziguri kick. Cena counters into the STF, and he gets kicked off. Big-time elbow. Tornado DDT by John Cena, and 1-2. Del Rio kicks out. So he goes up top, gets stopped with a step-up enziguri kick, knocks him off the top rope. Del Rio makes the cover 1-2, and Cena again kicks out. So he puts him on the turnbuckle upside down, ties him up to the Tree of Woe. He charges in for the spear. Cena pulls himself up with his upper body strength, and Del Rio goes shoulder first into the ring post. He nails the leg drop to the back of the neck for a 2 count on Del Rio off the top rope. And Cena charges in. Del Rio counters with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, 1-2, and a kick out. Going for the cross arm breaker with the entire Boston, aka hometown crowd, are chanting C when Del Rio's sitting up for the cross arm breaker. It gets countered to the STF, and a fingertip on the bottom rope calls for the break. So he kicks him into the side of the head, and he readies up the GSK, which is how he won the World Heavyweight title in the first place. 1-2, and again Cena kicks out. Goes for the cross arm breaker, gets countered into Cena's new favorite maneuver, the half Nelson neck breaker. 1-2, and a kick out. He goes up top, flying body press, roll through into the cross arm breaker. Cena, of course, not going to give it up. Gets countered with the tremendous upper body strength and power bombs Del Rio out of it. AA countered, cross arm breaker, and cross arm breaker countered. AA 1-2-3. A good match. Enjoyable match. Finish was never in question. Del Rio wasn't winning. If Del Rio won, I would give up recapping Impact. Obviously, I still recap Impact, so Del Rio didn't win. Yeah, okay match for what it was. Really good contest between these two. They have a lot of good chemistry together in the ring, and give a lot of crap to John Cena. I know a lot of people on the internet like to do that, but this match was actually really good. And we get to our semi-main, which... Screw it, this is the main event of the evening, because the last match sucked in every single way possible. Main event of the evening, the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper taking on Daniel Bryan, the MVP of the WWE, mind you, and the best in the world, CM Punk. This match was awesome, by the way, and really got the crowd going after really, like, being somewhat into the last match. It was an awesome match, but the crowd wasn't into it as much as they could have been. But the crowd really wanted to hate John Cena in his hometown, so this is proof positive. Cena can turn heel somewhere down the road. I don't know when, but someday. Maybe. Probably not, but who knows. We go midway through the match, and Bryan and Punk hit the heart attack clothesline on Luke Harper. Rowan makes a save and allows a distraction, which allows Punk to get a big boot out of nowhere from Luke Harper. 1-2 and a kick out. So he tags in a Rowan, and Eric Rowan comes in with a leaping knee drop with an opposite knee, which looked really weird. 1-2 and a kick out. So a neck twist, and he picks him up. The Bane-style backbreaker. 1-2, Punk kicks out. Tag back into Harper, and he nails the European uppercut and the gator roll into the side headlock, and Punk breaks it with a jawbreaker. Spinning back kick gets caught. Michinoku driver by Luke Harper. 1-2, and Punk kicks out. Tagging a Rowan. Rowan comes in, drops the elbow to the back of the neck. 1-2 and a kick out. And he locks in a chin lock with a knee firmly planted in the lower back. Old Punk punches his way out. Forearms Luke Harper for good measure. And sunset flip on Eric Rowan. The double goozle. Tosses him into the buckle. Charges in. Gets the boot up. Does Punk. Tornado DDT on Rowan. Plants him. Rowan tags into Harper. Hot tag to Daniel Bryan. Whip in reverse. Backflip. Ducks the clothesline. Comes off the ropes with the hooking clothesline. You know that thing I talked about with the sequencing? That's Daniel Bryan's. So whip in, reverse, charges in, Bryan low bridges him, sends him over the top rope to the floor. This allows Bryan to nail him with the tope, sending him hard to the barricade, almost through the barricade. Toss him back in, goes up top, missile drop kick, 1-2, Harper kicks out. Harper seemed like tweaked his ankle on the tope. At least it's what it looked like to me. Goes for the S-kicks, goes for the buzzsaw, gets countered into a powerbomb. Bryan Rana's his way out. Charging drop kick into the opposite corner, puts him on the buckle, goes for the Hurricane Rana, gets stopped, and delivers a huge sit-out powerbomb off the top rope. Does Luke Harper. 1, 2, and no! He kicks out. So, Punk makes the save for the kick out. Before the kick out, sorry. So Rowan lifts Punk up in the air by his arms and tosses him over the top rope to the floor. It's like, tip, you're gone. So, Rowan is officially tagged into the match. So, Rowan comes in with a big splash on Bryan. 1-2, Bryan kicks out. So, Harper calls for a 3 scoop slams. I don't know if that was a calling the match or him just like directing traffic. It could go either way with wrestling nowadays. Who knows? So, 3 big, hard scoop slams on Daniel Bryan. Kicks Punk as he's trying to get up to his feet. He reaches a vertical base. He's not grabbed the rope to pull him up to the ring apron yet. So, Rowan spots this and boots Punk, sending him to the floor. Tagging to Harper, tosses him into a short arm Vader attack and the face wash across the bottom rope and the catapult to the middle rope. You know the normal spot. 1-2 and a kick out. So, Bryan forearms his way out of the corner and he's fighting his way out against the Wyatt family. And Harper stops him with a Tiger Suplex 85. Good God. For the uninitiated, that is a half Nelson suplex. It's basically a half Nelson suplex, dropping the guy right on top of his head. So, basically, he charges Punk to attack him. Punk high kicks him and kind of stuns Harper. Punk gets tagged in. He comes in, springboard clothesline, 2 double sledges, ducks the clothesline, high leg lariat by Punk, and then the running to charge in, and he knocks Rowan down, so he's taken out of the equation momentarily. The running knee, the short arm clothesline, goes up top for the Savage Elbow, but Rowan and Bray Wyatt, who is now officially out of his chair at this point, are standing up and daring him to jump, and of course, Punk changes momentum and dives off with a flying body press onto Eric Rowan and Bray Wyatt on the floor. So he comes back in, spinning neck breaker on Harper, and he goes up top, nails the Savage Elbow, 1-2, and again a kick out. So he goes for go to sleep. Rowan pulls him off and ducks the clothesline. This allows for the fire-breathing knee on Eric Rowan, and Harper tries to plant Punk with a discus lariat, gets countered into the go to sleep, and 1, 2, 3. Punk and Bryan win this match. What an awesome contest between these two. After the match is over, Bray Wyatt gets on the ring apron, and Punk and Bryan want him to get in the ring, and Bray's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So he leaves, and this will continue at TLC, which I will not be recapping because it's on I believe the 15th, which I will be home. I will be in Orlando, so I won't be able to recap that. Sorry. So that's another thing you're going to miss is the TLC coverage. So, this was an excellent match. Eric Rowan showed me a lot in this match. Rowan's kind of the one who really doesn't have much of a pedigree when it comes to knowing much about him. As a matter of fact, all I know about Eric Rowan is at this moment... Let me see if I make sure I got this right. Luke Harper, obviously everyone knows, Big Rig Brody Lee, the stuff at the Age of the Fall, the stuff in Ring of Honor. I mean, he's a monster. He's awesome. But let's talk about Eric Rowan, because Eric Rowan is just... the only background I knew of him was the fact that he was trained by Eddie Sharkey. I mean, I know that. That's all I know. Well, apparently before... I even realized this, he was doing a tour of New Japan. Well, New Japan, he was at Pro Wrestling Noah, which of course used to be an awesome promotion in Japan. Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan, he actually done a tour as Thoruth, and he didn't do very well, but he got some Japanese, like, style, obviously. He got to work the Japanese style, so obviously that's a big help. Well, he debuted in Florida Championship Wrestling in 2011 when he signed his developmental deal, and I'm reading this off Wikipedia, I don't care. So, the Wyatt family brought him in, and, really, it's like, not many people know much about him, and they know a little bit about him, and that's it. Luke Harper's got a huge pedigree. Eric Rowan on this match really, really, impressed me. Rowan came out, smelling like roses in this match. Really good, battle for him, and I said, a bunch of times. What I'm trying to say is the fact that Eric Rowan really showed his true colors in this match. This match was really good, and it really went a long way to establish the Wyatt family as a destructive tag team. And I predict that the Wyatts win at TLC, and we blow this off at the Rumble, with Punk and Bryan and the Wyatt family, mind you, still being in the Rumble. But that's what I would do, at least in this case. Okay, this is when I stopped caring. Randy Orton and Big Show. This has the shortest recap of all, because I don't care about this match. This match should have been Daniel Bryan. I'm not saying that as a Daniel Bryan fanboy. I'm saying this match is Bryan had the biggest reaction of anyone in the company for a long time, and still had the biggest reaction of anybody on the show last night. But they supposedly blame the pay-per-view buy rate being so low on Bryan not being a spectacle enough to face Randy Orton. So they decided they want to put the Big Show into this feud. And I don't like the Big Show at all, and I never have. And I hate Randy Orton, so this match just sucked for me. Let's talk about this. So, Big Show climbs up top midway through the match. Thank God this was almost a finish. And he gets crotched, kicked numerous times in the head by Orton. He goes for the snakebite DDT off the top rope, and God, it looked bad. He goes for the RKO, tosses him off, does the Big Show, and he goozles him, chokeslam, 1-2, Orton kicks out. So Orton goes to the floor to regroup a little bit. Big Show kind of chases him, and he grabs him by the throat, tosses him against the ropes, which bumps Charles Robinson at ringside. Inside the ring, because of course they had this little thing with Charles Robinson, Randy Orton trying to make sure that there was no screw job, no Boston screw job, since Survivor Series is known for being a pay-per-view where someone usually gets screwed. But it was not to be. Big Show tosses Orton over the barricade, and then he overhand chops him, brings him back in, and Orton catches him, going for the snake bite. Big Show gives him the KO punch, tosses him back in, Triple H's music hits. What's best for business, stand on the ramp. Big Show distracted momentarily, RKO. He does the punt kick, which back in the day would have put Big Show on the shelf for at least 4 months, but he'll probably be on Raw tonight. And 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton wins. After the match is over, John Cena hits the ring, and the two men stare down, raising their respective championships. You guys wanted title unification. It looks like it's going to be Cena and Orton. God, this pay-per-view just was not good. So, like, lopsided. Like, okay, you want to watch this pay-per-view? I'll make this real easy on you. Watch the opening match. Watch the opening Survivor Series match, right? At the second that the opening Survivor Series match is over, I would say just bomb out for a bit. Bomb out for a little bit. And just disappear. Just go do something else. The second you see John Cena come out, or you hear John Cena's music if you're in another room, then by all means, like, have it on in the background or something like that. The second you hear John Cena's music, or you hear Alberto Del Rio's music, come back, enjoy yourself. And then enjoy the Wyatt family against CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. And after that match is over, get the hell out of the room and hit that pause button, or hit that X out, or turn off that television, because damn, there's no reason to watch any more of this. Totally lackluster main event. The fans were chanting, "Take it home." Just great. So hopefully WWE will see this buy rate and realize that the Big Show was not the right decision either. Not happy with this pay-per-view. Don't give a damn about Raw tonight, so hopefully it'll get better. Can't wait for Impact on Thursday, though. It should be awesome. So, yeah, that's my rant here. If you like this video, tell your friends about it. Leave a comment. Do subscribe to help spread the word about Pop and the Popcaster Revolution. There are now 4 ways to do that. Number 1, I feel like Zack Ryder right now. You can like us on Facebook at Sir Owen Disney Pop. You can follow us on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney. You can send me a good old-fashioned email at sirowendisney@gmail.com. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, you're more than welcome to. It is Owen Disney. And take care. Sorry. Anyway, I will join you wrestling fans, I guess, for Raw. Whatevs. I'm not looking forward to it. Impact Wrestling fans, join you on Wednesday morning for Impact, and Thursday for the Thanksgiving edition of Impact. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to talk Turning Point on Wednesday and Impact on Thursday. So, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.